I used to work for a guy that had the contract on keeping all that mowed. And the main job was the areas, like this is their land too, right here on the side of the road where they hadn't built any houses. But we also had to take care of all the vacant units over there. And the only thing that ever gave us any trouble, other than just people throwing their garbage out in here and it being knee-high by the time we get over here to mow it, and, you know, not seeing things like steak knives, was what they call a force mow. These people are all responsible for taking care of their own yard one way or another, doing it themselves or paying somebody. But our job, once every 3 weeks when we'd come over here to take care of the place, was anything that was more than ankle high, we had to mow. And the office would charge, I guess they were charging more for us to mow it than it would have cost these people to mow it or pay to have it mowed themselves. People come out trying to fight you over whether or not you were going to mow their yard today. Like, for real fight. I had a guy that stood in the middle of his yard. Matter of fact, it was right behind those yellow poles up there. Stood in the middle of his yard and let me sling grass all over him from head to toe because he was trying to block my way from mowing the yard that I was required by my contract to cut. Well, I hate to break it to you, but if you're paying rent and the people that own the joint are paying me to do something, I'm going with the people that own the place that are paying me money. I don't care what you want. You can be mad or you can get over it. I had a little Guatemalan guy doing my weed eating and stuff for me, and of course I was mowing and I was weed eating too. I was working for somebody else. But had a guy come out after that guy, the Guatemalan, with a baseball bat. And I'd had a gun for a while. I just never had thought about getting a carry permit and carrying, especially while I'm at work, for the purpose of self-defense. But after that dude came after my helper with a baseball bat, I went and got my permit, and I didn't come back on this property or any others like it that we had contracts on without being armed. And I never had to use it. I never even had to show anybody that I had it on me. Thank goodness. But if I'd have had it on me that day and had been there to see what happened, I was like 3 houses down. If I had known that was going on, if nothing else, I would have made my presence known about it. If not, kind of brandish is not the word. I definitely would have pulled my shirt up a little bit to show that, hey, you may want to go back inside with that baseball bat, because what's fixing to happen is not going to work out well for you, bud. It sucks that you have to be that way, but there's some people that, I mean, they're just not going to allow you to do your job. Especially if your job is going to end up costing them $5 extra. Actually, I think it was exactly $5. There's the dude that lives in one of these houses right up here on the right that had a little riding mower and a couple of weed eaters. And he would ride around everybody that didn't have their own little push mower. They'd pay him $20 to keep their yards mowed. And he was a good old guy. I talked to him, I liked him. Every now and then I got to know which yards were his, and if one of them hadn't been mowed yet, I'd try to find him when I was first getting started and be like, hey, you know it's Thursday, right? You may want to get over there to unit number whatever and get started, because once I start making the rounds and get all these fields done, I'm going to be on force mows, and if that thing's not mowed by the time I get around to it, you know, I can't just ride around in circles all day waiting on you to mow. You know, I can't not do my job, but I can help you out as much as I'm able to. But when you work in a place like this, people are kind of like drivers out on the road when you're on a motorcycle. You know, it's easy to get the wrong impression, because even though most of them are good, honest people, there's one or two in here that are not, and they're, I mean, like really not. And it don't take but a couple of encounters with those folks to start trying to say that everybody in here's not. It's real easy to fall into that. And you really shouldn't. People ought to have the benefit of the doubt until they prove otherwise. And that's what I think anyway.